So we're out here in Riverside this week. It's the semifinal night for the Open Division in the southern section of CIF basketball action. So in Riverside, the action this year it's going to be at Cal Baptist University. Last year we were at the Galen Center at USC, and this year Cal Baptist. So we're at the Mission Inn before the ball game here, a National Historic Mark and a place you got to visit in California. Nancy and Ronald Reagan were born here, so we're talking religion, talking politics tonight, the stuff that gets people excited. There's strong interest again this year in the southern section. We're going to have Bishop Montgomery against Sierra Canyon tonight, and the second game will be Mater Dei against Etiwanda. All four teams, I think, could win this thing. Etiwanda is going to give you the defense. They're going to come at you with Kessler Edwards, the senior, who's headed to Pepperdine. Mater Dei, Spencer Friedman can hit threes on you. You've heard us talk about Bishop Montgomery and David Singleton, who's headed to UCLA. So any of these teams could win. I think Sierra Canyon has the most talent this year. That doesn't mean they're going to win it all. And they did lose earlier this year to Bishop Montgomery, and that was Cassius Stanley's second game of eligibility. So I don't think Sierra Canyon was in a groove at that point. In other action, Division I action, last night we had Pasadena beat Rancho Verde, and Chino Hills beat Long Beach Poly. So Chino Hills will play Pasadena in the Division I final next weekend at the Pyramid in Long Beach in the finals. And then the winners tonight from the Open Division out here in Riverside will play at the Pyramid at Long Beach as well that evening. Chino, Division I this year, they're not in the Open Division. I think they do have two pros. Andre Ball, the cousin of Lonzo and Leangelo and LaMelo, and also Onyeka Kunwa, who's an outstanding player and may be the best player in Southern California right now. He's only a junior. Andre Ball is a senior, and it's hard to say if he plays in the new ball development league next year. Does he go to a Division I school? But he is a pro. I think he's the best athlete in the Ball family. I don't think a lot of people know that. Lonzo, of course, the playmaker, is a point guard. So that will be interesting next week. From a business perspective, we've mentioned earlier this year a lot of warehouse space, logistics out here in the Inland Empire and Riverside. Going out to Palm Springs, Palm Desert, the desert areas are included in Riverside County, and Riverside County goes all the way to the Arizona border. So that would include Blythe. Out in Blythe, there's they produce a lot of hay out there. They do irrigation because it's so hot out there, and one of the bigger businesses out there's a guy has a hardware business and does a lot of the cord that you wrap hay bales with. They do over $8 million a year, so that's a sizable business out there. As you move back in toward the Palm Desert, Palm Springs area, you see a lot of the resorts, the spas, the natural mineral waters, and so you see that type of thing, a lot of snowbirds in the winter. There'd probably be another 1 million people live out there if it was 10 degrees cooler in the summer, but it does get awfully hot in the summer. I've done business with people in the produce markets down in LA who sell okra. They grow a lot of okra out in the desert in the Palm Springs area. A lot of Indian food includes okra, and so sometimes you see guys in the produce markets in LA. They might own some farmland out in the Palm Springs area where they grow the okra. Also out in the desert area in Blythe, there's a jail. So if you're approaching Blythe, you don't want to pick up hitchhikers because there's a sizable jail there. Back before I was around, my parents lived in a building near Kent State University, and there was a guy in the building who went through the criminal justice program at Kent State, and upon graduation he got a job at the Blythe prison. So there's a little pipeline there from Kent State with their good criminal justice program to some of the jails in California. And it's surprising how well some of the prison guards and the employees at the jails do financially. That was one of the hot topics that got Gray Davis in trouble as governor of California, where he was negotiating with the prison guards, and a lot of people said he gave away the farm in that situation. But they do very well, and they have very, very nice pensions. It's a tough job, but it's a good opportunity. Lots of basketball out here in the Riverside area. Inland Empire areas we've talked throughout the year. Etiwanda is the closest team that's participating tonight, so they should have a lot of fans out here. Also want to mention UC Riverside here in Riverside. They have a world-class entomology program. One of the world leaders in cockroach studies is actually here at UC Riverside. They added the medical school we've talked about previously. So it's a very good school, and as people apply for the UC system, they'll prioritize where they want to go first, but there's engineering here at UC Riverside as well. Let's see, we have hit some of the business things. We've talked about who's playing tonight here. I mentioned, in my opinion, this is really the best night for basketball in Southern California. It's the semifinals. As we move forward to the finals in the Open Division, there are a lot of good players that won't be there next week because they're going to lose tonight or lost last week. So this is a great celebration. I always enjoy it, and wanted to close up with my all SoCal Business Report first team this year. Kick it off with Brandon Williams from Encino Crespi. He's committed to Arizona. This morning, actually, Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif O'Neal, he decommitted from Arizona based on the activity that's going on with the investigation of college basketball. Brandon Williams also, he has not signed his letter of intent. He signed financial aid papers, so we'll see if he does continue on to Arizona next year. Onyeka Okungwa is the second player that is first team this year. And he's a junior from Chino Hills. Max Agbankpolo from Santa Margarita, a junior. Very good shooter. He's developed this year. A lot of people would not have had him in that position in the summer or last year, but he's really developed. And he's a tall fella. Reminds me a touch of Tracy Murray, who played at UCLA. Can shoot the ball. He's long. He's tall. And so I look for good things from him the next couple of years. Tayshawn Cherry is the next first teamer from Foothills Christian in San Diego. He's committed to go to Arizona State. Very good big man, forward center. The next player is Cassius Stanley from Sierra Canyon. Reminds some people of Vince Carter. Great athlete, can shoot the ball. And continued his development this year. And the final first teamer this year, David Singleton from Bishop Montgomery, who has really led his program through the last couple of years. A big, tough, strong shooting guard who can rebound, do other things, and plays a lot of good defense. He'll be headed to UCLA. As I mentioned, the four teams can all win this trophy this year. I didn't mention on the first team anyone from Mater Dei, Spencer Friedman, Michael Wong. These two players are right there with the players I just mentioned, so they could very easily win this Open Division this year. That's about it for the pregame, and we look forward to talking to you and reporting on what happened after the games tonight.